Am I audible to everyone? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh,
Yes.
awesome. Great. Okay. So let's begin today's session. So back and neck straight. You can gently close the eyes. Let's start observing the breath. Just observe the natural flow of your breath. Slowly shift your attention to your body. Make sure that your back and neck are straight. Chin should be parallel to the ground. Face should be completely relaxed. And your entire body should be relaxed. Slowly come back to the breath. As your body becomes stable, mind becomes a little bit calm, we'll begin to deepen our breath, entering into the practice of Puraka, or slow, long and deep inhalation, and Rechaka, or slow, long and deep exhalation. Stay connected to your breath. Let's prepare ourselves for chanting Om, followed by the Shanti mantra. Exhale completely. Inhale deeply. Om. Sarve Santu. Sarve Shanti. Just feel the vibrations. Join both the palms together in front of the chest and rub both the palms together. Place them on the eyes. Again, and looking at the arms, open up the eyes, come back to the smile. Just begin today's session. So yesterday we had an introductory class on, what pranayama is, and we also discussed the 5 shapes of the body, the panchakoshas. Any doubts in any of the previous discussions? Right. Okay. So today we are going to move a little bit ahead in the learning of pranayama. So I'm just going to, write down certain things in the chat box only. So yesterday, as we discussed, pranayama is related to the pranic body. And I told you how, prana is connected with the different, functioning of the different body parts. So there are 5 pranas that are present in the body. We also call them the panchavayu. Or panch prana. P-A-N-C-H-A-V-A-Y-U, Panchavayu, or Panchapran, P-A-N-C-H-A-P-R-A-N-A, Panchavayu or Panchpran. So depending on where the pran is located, there are certain functions that the pran covers. So let's look at the first pran, which is in fact called prana only. One thing is pran is present throughout the body. However, this the first division of the vayus or prana is prana only. That is given the name prana only. And the location of prana is actually from your larynx to above the diaphragm. I got the spelling of diaphragm right. If I haven't, just make that correction. So from around this region till above the diaphragm, your entire lungs, the functioning of the lungs and the production of sound basically is connected with prana. And this is also the force which is responsible for the inhalation. So when you inhale, there is some force that is pulling that air in, and that force, that energy which is making the inhalation possible is prana. Right, so if you are making a body structure of a human being, so from below the, from the larynx till covering the chest is your prana, location of prana. Okay, so intake in the body is actually connected with this force. Then we have the completely opposite force, which is apan. A-P-A-N-A. This is completely opposite to pran, as pran is connected with the inhalation or taking in something. Apan is actually connected with expulsion or exhalation. So the location of apan is the abdominal area, below the navel. Yeah. Um, and this will remain like this will cover your genital organs and anus region, all of that region. So legs are not covered from the abdomen till your excretory organs. Apan is present. And it looks at the functioning of all the organs which are present in this area. So your kidneys, your large intestine, all of these things that are present in the lower abdominal area, they're functioning, and the entire process of excretion is taken care by the apan vayu in the body. And that would also include your exhalation process, right? Because it is elimination of something from the body. Then next we have saman. Apan is APANA. Saman is SAMANA. Saman vayu. Now this saman vayu covers your heart and the from your heart till the region above your navel. That middle portion between pran and apan is covered by saman. Now you have almost covered your entire torso region, and in fact a little bit more than that with these three pranas. Okay, so all the functioning of your heart, your stomach, pancreas, liver, all of these are taken care by the saman vayu. And this is one of the most important vayus when you come to yoga. Why? Because this has a lot of relevance, like saman vayu overall. And the process of digestion is connected with the saman vayu. So if your digestion is not all right, it means there is some issue with the saman vayu that is taking place. We call digestive fire. So digestive fire is taken care of by the saman vayu. So the entire breakdown of the food takes place because of this, the presence of this vayu. And in Bhagavad Gita it is given that pran and apan, we have to these are two opposing forces, though. So in yoga what we do is we get these opposing forces together. So that is why where will these opposing forces meet is saman vayu. That is why there is so much spiritual relevance of saman vayu. So let's move to the next vayu that we have, udan. UDANA. Udan vayu. This is our fourth vayu. And udan is connected. I'll tell you the body parts also of udan. So udan is present above your larynx, right, till the head. covering the entire upper body, and then your limbs, the functioning of the limbs, so hands and legs. This is connected with the Udan Vayu. Right, and because the red is present, of course, it's supporting those functions. So the blinking of the eyes, whatever functions take place above the neck region, till your head region, lips moving, all of these things that are taking place, it is because of the presence of Udan Vayu. And again, the functioning, the control coordination of the limbs, the overall coordination in the movement of the body, this is taking place due to Udan Vayu. And last one that we have, last prana, fifth one, is called Vyan. Vyan Vayu, Vyana. And this is present throughout the body. So this is connected with the coordination in the entire body. So Udan is connected with the coordination of the limbs. However, the coordination that we experience in the entire body is takes place due to the presence of Vyan Vayu. And this also coordinates all the pranas. So Pran, Apan, Saman, Udan, all of these are coordinated because of Vyan Vayu. And it also acts as a reserve for the rest of the values. So if any other value is not sufficient at a particular point of time, so Vyan acts as a storehouse for that energy for any of the other values. Right, so these are the 5 pranas that are present in the body, and depending on their location, they have specific functions in the body. And there are certain other divisions also of pran. They go like, so it's like a chapter and a subchapter. So these vayus are chapters, and then there are further divisions of pranas, like they are called upapran. But for us, it is just enough to understand the presence of these 5 pranas, and we will not go and discuss about the uprans, because that would be like, that is not relevant for us, right? Any doubts in any of these, any location that you missed out or anything?
No.
Okay, great. So let's move ahead and just see the connection of prana. Why pranayam is so necessary, we need to understand that. So let's go back a little. So when you go to certain yoga texts, you will see that there is a deep connection that is given between the breath and the mind, right? This you would have heard. And same thing goes for your prana and your entire physical body also. It has an impact, and even mental, with the mind also, like I told you, Pranamaya kosha is directly connected to Annamaya kosha and Manomaya kosha, right? So it has direct impact on both of these. So even in Hatya Pradipika, when the chapter of pranayama, which is the second chapter, it starts. It's written Chale Vate Chale Chittam Nischale Bhavit. Yeah, so that means that when the prana will move, when the breath will move, the mind will move. Basically, this is what it is saying. And when you stop the movement of the prana, that is when the mind will also, the chit will also be able to come at a stable position, right? And I told you one of the ways in which prana manifests is your breath, right? So same thing is going on when you try to work on your breath. You will see how your mind, how your thoughts are also being influenced by these practices. So towards the mental side, this is the connection. Same goes with emotions. Whenever you are in an emotional state, you will observe that your breath is going to change, right? If somebody is angry, you will see that the breath is very shallow. If somebody is in a very peaceful and calm state of mind, the breath will function very differently at that point of time. So that is another reason why pranayama is given so much relevance when we go into the practice of pranayama. It is very important to understand this aspect of how it is having an impact on your mental level, right? It is somewhere trying to tap the mental level as well, and emotions also, and same goes for a physical body also. So when you will see that your entire lifespan, so it's generally said that we come here with a limited number of breaths, all right, and it's totally up to us how we use those breaths, right? So if I inhale and exhale really fast, so I'm exhausting my breath right now. So suppose I have 100 breaths. I'm just taking a hypothetical example. So I can choose to, you know, uh, breathe those 100 breaths very fast and end my reserve in the bank. Or what I can do is I can actually work towards expansion of that breath. Like what this is exactly what we do in pranayama. So the ancient yogis, they observed that they were scientists. So when they went into seclusion and they started observing their body and even observed nature around them. So if you see a tortoise, you will see that the tortoise breathes very slowly, and because of that reason, the tortoise lives a very long life. Same goes for the elephant. The elephant also breathes very, very slowly. Inhalation and exhalation is very slow. The elephant also has a very long life. And if you go towards the contrary side, you will see that if you look at a dog, so the dog has a very shallow breath, right? And that is why their lifespan is very, very less. So good lifespan for a dog is 13 to 15 years. Maximum, they will go up to 20 years, but not like in comparison to the human life, the dog's life is really short because of their breath. All right. And this was observed by the yogis first in nature, and then they saw themselves that, okay, if I'm breathing in this way, this is the state of my mind, this is how the body is functioning, and this is how the entire process is taking place. And if I'm breathing very slowly and calmly, this is what is going on, right? And when they observed this thing, that is when they introduce the practice of kumbhak, or even the normal inhalation and exhalation. They change their pattern of breathing immensely just because they observe this thing in the nature, that breathing is highly influences your span of life. So a normal person generally takes around 14 breaths in a minute, right? In 1 minute, around 14 breaths are taken. And during the day, I think around 21, between 21 to 22,000. So 21 to 22,000 breaths are taken by a normal human being. So normally, right now also, if you observe, in a minute, you will at least take 14 to 15 breaths. Okay, more like anywhere between these two numbers. All right, and same when you multiply this with the number of minutes, this is around the number you will get 21 to 22,000 breaths in one day. All right. So what a yogi does is, the yogi doesn't take these many breaths in a minute. Okay, which will considerably reduce the multiplication also. So now if suppose I am taking 10 breaths in a minute, so if I multiply it by the number of minutes during the day, then of course it will fall down drastically, right? So the yogi aims on controlling this per minute breath. And the practice of Kumbhak also, you will see, is that is why it's given a lot of relevance, because when you practice Kumbhak, the inhalation exhalation process is completely suspended during that point of time. All right. So this 14 breaths per minute is good enough for you as a beginner. However, as you proceed in your practice, just observe how many breaths now you are taking. Another thing which is very important is your lifestyle. Okay. So the lifestyle greatly impacts the way in which the pranas function during like in the body. Now, suppose I'm a very lazy person. Okay. So if I do not exercise, if I do not give my body that kind of, exercise, then what will happen? It's going to act and react in the same way, right? So someone who doesn't generally go to, doesn't do physical workout will see that not only is their body getting very stiff, or they would feel, some tightness in the body, even on a pranic level, blockages start happening. So it's very important for you to have the right food, the right sleep, the right exercise, so that not only are your arteries and veins being affected by this, your entire lifestyle will influence how the prana is working, if it is moving smoothly, and if a blockage is being caused or not, right? If a blockage comes in the pranic body, what will start happening? This is also very important to understand, because most of us think that it's our diet which or other conditions which lead to diseases. Sorry, it is our diet or other external conditions which lead to certain diseases. However, the entire process is going on internally. So according to yogic philosophy, if there is a blockage in the pranas, right, in my nadi, if there is a blockage, that is where the disease will begin to develop. All right. So suppose that there is some blockage in the shoulder, suppose. So it happens on a pranic level first, and then because the prana is blocked over here, that is when the energy is not able to flow properly. And when the energy is not able to flow properly, then the functioning of the arteries and the veins in this region, they start getting restricted because of that, and that is what causes the disease in my shoulder. It is nothing else but the pranic body which is causing this entire thing or the disease that you are going through. Hence, pranayam, working with pranayam is very important to heal your body, to keep your body healthy on a very subtle level, right? And this is something you will even observe if you go to any energy worker or Reiki healer. You must have heard of Reiki also. So any energy healer or Reiki practitioner would actually work on unblocking that you know pranic channel, or giving you that kind of energy where, because see, your body is capable of healing itself, but because of certain blockages, because energy cannot move from one place to the other, it causes disease. So what these energy healers do is they release that blockage from the body. Once the blockage is released, the body in itself is capable of healing itself. So the energy workers do not heal your body heals itself. the energy workers will only, remove that blockage from the body, right? I went a little deep with this thing, but this is the overall basic understanding that you need to have, that your body is capable of healing itself. It sometimes that certain blockages take place because of which it cannot go into the process of healing itself, right? So any doubts in any of this so far? Any of the things that I have covered? So now you understand how pranayama is, connected to your mind, to your body, everything. Your lifespan is also going to be greatly impacted as you go deeper into pranayama practices, right? So now let me come to the main thing. Most of us do not breathe correctly. In our day-to-day life, we are not breathing correctly. One thing is that, we are having very shallow breaths. Okay. So the inhalation exhalation is very shallow. It takes just a few seconds in which you will complete the entire process of one breath. One thing is that. Another thing is that we are generally not aware of how we are breathing. So most of our days we are too busy doing something or the other, and hence we get disconnected from this natural process. So what happens is we, come to a point where we are breathing incorrectly because of, suppose, let me give you a very hypothetical example. Something stressful happens in your life, right? So your breath will change. Now I told you that as the situation changes, your breath also changes. Suppose your breath changes at that point of time. It will. So when you again come back into a relaxed state of mind, what will actually happen is your breath, because you are not focused on the correct manner of breathing, you will not be able to switch to the correct breathing pattern. And that is why people experience a lot of stress in their life, even though the stressful situation has passed. Because, they are unable to correct their breathing pattern. Their system is too triggered and they're not able to switch back. They're not able to calm their breath again, switch back to the normal breathing. So most of us, people who are having a very stressful life, we are not breathing correctly. And it's just a change in breath that can bring a huge change in your entire life, right? So before entering the practices of pranayama, we are actually going to work on certain breathing exercises which will help us to get prepared for the practice of pranayama. All right. So in the coming few classes, I'm going to be covering a few breathing practices which are actually pre-practices of pranayama, which will prepare you to step into the practice of pranayama, right? Because if the energy channels are not cleansed, if we are not breathing correctly, then changing our breath will not do us any good, right? If suppose the goal of my practicing pranayama is, spiritual progress or whatever, with whatever mind I have entered that practice of pranayama, I will not be able to achieve it if my breathing is not correct, because pranayama practices mostly work with your breath, right? So we need to understand the correct way of breathing. So today we are getting into the practice of normal breathing. Yeah, I'm going to introduce normal breathing to all of you, and let's already start working on these things so that we are able to progress more and more with each passing day. So tomorrow I will cover some general notes of a pranayama practitioner, general things that you have to take care of. But for today, just make sure that you're breathing through the nose. That is good enough for today. Tomorrow I will cover in depth what things you have to take care of, right? And just make sure wherever you're sitting, it is calm and you are comfortable while you are sitting. And do not breathe through the mouth, just breathe through your nose, right? Okay, so it's a very common practice. You must have also, if you have been a part of yoga before, you must have also or practiced yoga at any point of time in your life. You have experienced the normal breathing practice where we just follow the breath as it enters the body and as it exits the body, right? So when we sit in a comfortable posture, all we are going to do is we are going to close our eyes and just center for a little bit, and then we are going to start following our breath as it moves in the body from your nostrils as it goes up and down. Then as it goes down, you're going to feel that in the mouth, the throat, and as it enters your chest and your lungs begin to expand, right? And then as you exhale, after the inhalation has completed, we are going to go back into exhalation as the air exits the lungs through the throat, back of the mouth, and then out of the nostrils, right? And first we are going to go for slow, long and deep inhalations and exhalations. So Puraka and Rechaka first we will do, and then we will step into the practice of normal breathing. Any doubts on the technique of normal breathing or any other thing that we have discussed so far? Or,
No.
oh, great. So let's begin our practice for today. So all of you come in any comfortable posture. And just back neck straight, you can close the eyes and just start observing your natural breath. Stay with your breath. And slowly shift your attention to your body. Just make sure your weight is equally balanced on both the hips. You're not leaning forward, you're not falling back. You're at the center. Your lower back should be relaxed. So just as you exhale, push the abdomen in and relax your lower back. And release that tension from the neck and shoulders. Just relax the neck and shoulders. Relax your face, your forehead. Just quickly scan through your body, making sure that you are comfortable. There is no stress in the body. Once you do so, just come back to your breath. Body is ready and relaxed. Mind is also ready. Slowly transition into the practice of Puraka and Rechaka. Conscious, slow, long and deep breaths. Inhalation as well as exhalation or Rechaka. And relax your mind. Let's begin with the practice of normal breathing. After your next exhalation, start following your breath. The breath will pass through the nose, going down, feeling it on the back side of the mouth, into the throat, just experiencing it filling up the lungs. The chest has risen above with the inhalation. As you breathe in, you directly go into the process of exhalation. Chest goes down. That starts to exit through the throat, back of the mouth, and out of the nose. With each breath, follow this entire pattern. Just checking if you can feel as the breath goes in and comes out. Just see if your mind is concentrated enough to perceive this movement of the breath in the body. Stay completely focused on the breath. Even if your mind tends to run away, bring it back to your breath and keep following. As you inhale, be aware that you are inhaling. And as you exhale, be aware that you are exhaling. New breath. The natural process of your body. Slowly begin to come out of this practice. We'll take 3 deep breaths together. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. the natural breath once again. Allow the mind to be free for a few seconds. Let it run in any direction it wants to run into. Slowly move your fingers and your toes. And join both the palms together in front of the chest. And begin to rub both the palms. Place them on the eyes. Feel the warmth from your hands reaching your eyes. One more time, let's rub both the palms together. Before opening up the eyes, we're going to go for one more run. And keep them on the eyes. Very slowly while blinking and looking at the palms. You can open up your eyes. Start coming back. Okay, great. So how was everybody's experience? Were you able to stay connected with your breath? Yeah, good. Very cute dog. Oh, you have more than one. Wow, very cute. All right. If anybody faced any difficulty, please feel free to unmute yourself and discuss right now. Okay, great. So this was your practice of normal breathing. It is the first basic practice that you step into when you're going for the pre-practices of pranayama. All right. And another thing which will be very relevant for all of you throughout the classes is actually going to be this, palming that we have done today. So let me just demonstrate this for you. So it's very important because when we will be practicing other pranayams also, our eyes are going to be closed for a very long period of time. So what you have to make sure is that you rub both the palms together very well. All right. Heat should be generated properly between both the palms. And then you have to make this cup shape of your hands. All right. And you have to place them on your eyes. So there is no pressure on the eyeballs. So some people, what they do is they place their hands like this. So the eyes are, there is pressure on the eyes. So this is not good. You will rub the palms and you will make this cup, and then you will place them on the eyes. So the heat that is generated in the palms, that is transferred to your eyes, which makes your eyes warm and prepares them for light. So when we complete pranayam after that, because it is a long sitting and eyes are closed, just make sure that you do it at least 2 times. You can go for more than 2 times also, but it is always good to open up your eyes even after meditation also. Just make sure you rub them at least 2 times so that your eyes are directly, they are not directly exposed to the light very, suddenly, right? So it is very important because a lot of your practices will involve closing the eyes in pranayama and meditation both. So do this palming practice properly so that the eyes are not harmed during this entire process. All right. So if there are no doubts, I think we can end the session. Right. So tomorrow we are going to start with the other pre-practices, breath practices, and tomorrow we will also cover some general notes that you should be aware of before starting pranayama practices. Okay. So I think we can end the session then. Yeah. So just sit comfortably. We'll just chant Om one time followed by 3 shantis. Right. So close your eyes. And let's just inhale deeply for Om. Shanti. Shanti. With the vibrations. Join both the palms together and gently bow down. Let's take a few moments to feel grateful for everything we have in our life. Now put the palms together. Keep them on the eyes. Very slowly while blinking and looking at the palms, open up your eyes, come back with a big smile. And namaste. And see you all tomorrow. Yeah. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.